Somebody asked, does Shanks know the identity of Imu-sama? As far as we know, no, but it's very possible due to his possible lineage. The identity or existence of Imu is only known to the Gorosei for sure, but it's also possible Figureland Garling and the other Holy Knights know about Imu too. Garling is literally the closest person to being ranked as one of the highest-ranking celestial dragons like the Gorosei, so I feel like he knows about Imu and keeps it a secret. And for one, when Imu was informed about the Gorosei arriving, it was from a servant or whoever knows about Imu. Whoever that was is very likely a Holy Knight. As for Shanks, who is very likely a descendant of the celestial dragons, I don't think he knows, unless a Figureland relative like Garling gave him the word about it being even above the Gorosei. There's no way they would allow former celestial dragons that lost their status to know about the existence of Imu. This guy asked, why does GARP hate Shanks and respect Whitebeard in One Piece? Shanks was the one responsible for Luffy becoming a pirate in the first place, while Whitebeard was a man of honor and integrity, along with one of the few pirates that wasn't an asshole. Not only that, but it's pretty likely that both GARP and Whitebeard fought each other during their younger days. So apart from respecting his character, GARP also acknowledged Whitebeard as a top-tier fighter. This guy asked, which villain's backstory was the most understandable for them to become a villain in One Piece? The one and the only Doflamingo. He grew up a celestial dragon. He got everything he wanted whenever he wanted, and was always respected and feared. He was always one of the most important people in a room, and then it was all taken away. He lost everything he had, his money, his power, his fame, his respect, his entire life. Why? Because the person he trusted most decided he didn't want it anymore. As a result, his mother died from disease, they were forced to eat garbage, and they were beaten. And worse, they were even crucified for being celestial dragons. Think of the effect this would have on a child's mind. Then Doflamingo finally broke and killed his father who caused all of this. Maybe not justified, but if you imagine what that child's mind went through, then it's not hard to imagine how it could snap. This guy asked, is Kid out of the Pirate King race? The answer to that is most definitely. And that has only amplified after the latest chapter in Egghead, confirming it basically. Not only did Kid get one shot, Killer was also caught in that, and most of the crew was knocked just from Shanks' Conqueror's Haki. They also gave away their poneglyphs to Shanks. But then right after that, the rest of the crew that was unharmed from Shanks' attack then proceeded to get caught up in the Giant's attack. Compared to Law, at least Beppo was unharmed and able to save him. Even with most of his crew probably destroyed, we at least know the main two on Law's crew are safe. We've seen Beppo in recent chapters listening to Vegapunk. Law's goal is also the D, so he still has a reason to come back. Kid and Killer and most of his crew all got attacked. It's even a wonder if he's not dead. But yeah, he's out. Oda basically just told us with this panel that these are the major players for the final saga. This guy asked, who do you think has the most potential between Zoro and Sanji in One Piece? Well, Oda is partial towards Zoro, then he is towards Sanji. And that's understandable, considering how Zoro is the vice captain of the crew. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Zoro has more potential than Sanji. Zoro is the descendant of Ryuma, the sword god, and that alone gives him a lot of leverage in the series, at least plot-wise. But Sanji is the Vinsmoke prince. His genes are virtually perfect. He's literally designed for maximum human efficiency. And considering how he had to awaken it and master it, unlike his brothers who were all born with it, he's got more potential than them. But potential is only as good as the person who's honing it. As SBS of Volume 82, Chapter 818 suggests, Zoro's the one with the work ethic, which is why I'm leaning towards Zoro, whose hobbies are literally to train and drink, unlike Sanji. This guy asked, why did Kid and Law get poneglyphs at the end of Wano if only Robin can read them? Knowing what we know now, we can now answer this question easily. Kid and Law getting the poneglyphs was never about them finding a way to translate it, or about them finding their way to Laugh Tale. That wasn't why they got it. The reason is that there was a broader plot at play, and we saw that taking place immediately after Wano. 3 crews with 3 road poneglyph copies left Wano in 3 different directions. We know that the only reason that the 3 copies of the 3 road poneglyphs got out of Wano was so that Blackbeard could get his hands on one of it from Law, and so that Shanks could get the other copy from Kid. and that puts Blackbeard, Shanks, and Luffy as direct competitors to Laugh-Tale as fellow emperors. Bottom line, besides Robin, there are probably other ways at decoding the poneglyphs that hasn't yet been revealed to us. This guy asked, would Luffy try to rescue Law if he was captured by the Marines? Assuming he found out in time, I do think Luffy would try and save Law if he were captured by the Marines. Even if he isn't an official Straw Hat, Law was a guest crewmate who stayed on the ship for multiple arcs, and he saved Luffy's life after Marineford. This dude is like Vivi. He would be a Straw Hat if not for his pre-existing crew. I think Luffy would be 100% down to go save Law, but Zoro might vote against it. Roronoa is very much the one who knocks some sense into Luffy, and he might convince Luffy that it's not worth risking his crew's lives and going that far out of their way just to save one guy. I do think Luffy would win out in the end though, and the Straw Hats would find some way to storm Impel Down yet again. Beppo and the rest of the Heart Pirates would probably help too. I imagine they would come to the Straw Hats for help if it came down to it.